Videotapes, video home system cassettes. These were the days when if you wanted to record something, you either relied on the crappy timer function in your VCR or waited until the program began and finished, poised with the record and stop buttons. If you were fancy, you might have had Video Plus, but who even had time to look up those numbers in the radio times? Anyway, the premise of this video is a simple one. Earlier today I popped into my garage and retrieved a bag of videotapes I've possessed since at least the early 90s. The content of these tapes is somewhat unknown, but my hopes were to go through each one and perhaps find some gold standard lost footage, perhaps of Craig Charles awoogering through Cyberzone, or some dodgy late night film I'd felt the need to record as a wretched 13-year-old. So I'll be using my trusty Samsung SV633B VCR for this foray into 90s eroded tape. It's a well specified machine with remote, Video Plus, Nicam stereo sound, and even the ability to play back NTSC tapes. And it seems like quite an abundant model, with various listings available on eBay. As you can see, there's a wide variety of tape brands, lengths, and indeed labels here. Some clearly hold films, or did at some point, such as Apollo 13 or Alien 3, whilst others are more ambiguous. In any case, there's still opportunity for content after the labelled main event. So hold on to your waste packets as we begin proceedings with the first tape. These cardboard sleeves have clearly been shuffled around over the years, but we have a Bush HQ E180 case holding a Mitsubishi labelled super high quality ENX grade E120 cassette, scribed with the film title Nothing to Lose, good film, recorded on single play. You can't fault my teenage tape administration skills really, can you? Playing the cassette reveals I've recorded this one over a copy of the film Tombstone, apparently starting a good few minutes in, and I've nabbed it directly from the old analog Sky box office, which alone induces some forgotten nostalgic feelings of bliss. So this must have been sometime around the year 2000. The rest of the tape just appears to be a recording of MTV, including some footage of Cat Deeley presenting Hit List UK.
That's a normal man. They recorded this track for a Bee Gees tribute album, which will be out in the shops in time for Christmas.
Next up, in this charming Maxell Mega Power Tape box, we have another Mitsubishi label informing us of the Alien movie within, although the top label reads a rather ambiguous Peas tape, which I apparently recorded on long play, and given the picture quality of Alien, it certainly looks like it's the case, which again seems to be followed by more MTV dross. Thankfully this VCR has auto tracking, otherwise I could have spent an entire day on this project. Well, hey, here's one of the corresponding Mitsubishi cases, although it contains a Lloyd's VHS with a half-size Amstrad label, of course, devoid of content information. This lack of content gave me high hopes of a tape jam-packed with a mishmash of 90s television. And well, it's halfway there. We kick off with some Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, move on to a Tommy Cooper documentary, a somewhat disturbing scene with Ainsley Harriott.
Oh, icing sugar. Can I get into that? Oh, please do. I'm a bit of a fan of eggy bread, I have to say. They call it Pamperdue somewhere.
Pamperdue? No.
Lost bread or something.
Oh, what do you talk? This is Ainsley's chocolate orange toast.
Really cool.
Although most scenes with Ainsley Harriott are quite disturbing, and we end up with a few episodes of Red Dwarf Season 8, dating these recordings to most likely 1999. So, we know by this point that I've recorded a lot of sugar. A lot of utterly pointless
shenanigans.
Hopefully some of it at least by accident. Which brings us on to this tape, completely devoid of labels, but with what appears to be some mild mould on the tape reels. Nice. Now this is a mixed capsule. We begin with some WWF footage, which, given I stopped watching WWF just after WrestleMania 7, frankly baffles me. I don't even know who these people are. We then move on to something called The Priory, which was a celebrity chat show type thing on Channel 4 from 92 to 2002, presented by Zoe Ball and Jamie Theakston.
Hey, good, hey. Hello, welcome to The Priory, the show that does for the famous what Daniela Westbrook does for Kleenex.
It's safe to say this was utter garbage, but I appear to have let the recorder run into the night, capturing this Channel 4 animation. There's Jeremy Beadle, and there's the programme shining from this lady's fanny? What in the name of all God even is this? But, you know, all is not lost. We've got a schedule screen telling us this was recorded on Sunday the 11th of June 2000, some 17 years ago, and coming up is Bits. Maybe this is what I was hoping to record at 2:30 in the morning. Now, I can't actually remember watching Bits at that period in time, but for those unaware, it's a gaming show featuring an all-female presenting team, airing from the 4th of June 1999 to the 6th of April 2001 on Channel 4. It appeared in both this late-night format and edited morning editions, but let's be frank, it's no bad influence, is it?
Where, coward? Hello and welcome to Bits. And this week, Alex wets her pants over the soon-to-be-released Perfect Dark. Who lays down the law as she referees the very first Bits International Penalty Shootout on this, the eve of the European Championship Finals. And I give you the lowdown on Midway's new version of the old classic hack-and-slash coin-op, Gauntlet Legends.
Next, this super video E180 with what appears to be the corresponding tape, hey, containing the film Apollo 13. Apollo 13 is followed by more goddamn music television. Yeah, that's enough of that. At this point, my hopes were waning for some lost classic television. I mean, Bits was a good find, but you can find all those episodes online already. Now this BASF chrome dioxide extra high quality case filled me with hope. You can see I've scrawled half of Jaws Revenge. What? Half of Jaws Revenge? Who the hell records half of a film? Man, the 90s must have been a desperate time for obtaining feature-length movies. There's also apparently a copy of Turtles 1 and Sega, in quotation marks. Yes, I have no idea what Sega content this is referring to, but it sounded promising. But the tape turned out to be Mum's tape with hands off written on it.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
And yes, it appears to contain some bizarre dramatizations which my mother had possibly decided to record at some point in the unknown past. Does any of this ring a bell to you? I have no idea. I presume the tape the sleeve referred to has either been destroyed or lost or recorded over. Next, the labels on this tape look like they've been through a deep fat fryer. There's all these cryptic annotations on various tapes as well. We've got tape 2, a sticker of the number 2, clearly 2 was important to this tape, and they were meant to mean something, but now I have absolutely no idea. This VHS does have Richard Ashcroft singing I Know I'll See Your Face Again through a plethora of tape deterioration and tracking lines. Oh, the irony. Followed by yet more MTV. Clearly I was excited at the prospect of having Sky at the time. I really have no idea otherwise why I recorded so much music television over what was probably gold dust beforehand. I bet a couple of slivers of Craig Charles shouting Awooga remain on these tapes somewhere, recorded over multiple times along with that half copy of Jaws 2, but, you know, it's a waste. Gold Star case next, containing another Lloyd's E180 tape. And the E, by the way, denotes that this is the running time under the PAL/CCAM system, hence I guess it stands for Europe. For NTSC, you'll notice tapes would be labelled T180, and this is because the minutes of the video they hold vary dependent on the system in use. Anyway, this tape holds Alien 3, as stated on the label. along with rather fittingly an alien abduction documentary. It's starting to look like a theme on this tape. And then we have footage of the National Lottery in 1997. If you had those numbers, you're 20 years too late, mate, so sorry about that. There's also a lot of Spice Girls footage on here. Yeah. Alright, last tape. What does it hold other than Alien Resurrection? Well, actually it contains a Spitting Image episode. I think it's from 1984. Although I also think this was a repeat which aired sometime during the 90s.
Our next piece of mouth-watering gore concerns the mugging of this man, who lives on the Palm Springs estate, Peckham.
I was walking home down Hawaii Boulevard, past the cactus pit on Bahama Corner, up through the...
And that really is about it. We've witnessed some reasonably classic TV, nothing groundbreaking, nothing that made me want to stand up and shout, "I remember that!" Well, apart from this Stephen Hawking advert.
People often ask me which came first, the chicken or the egg. Well, I have calculated it was either. Oh, bummer.
Not that it's an advert for Stephen Hawking, but you know, it's quite amusing. So, possibly nothing to write home about, and towards the end of the 90s, in a final hurrah, I clearly decided that anything interesting I'd recorded should be covered in a nice stream of MTV footage, almost as a big "fuck you" to my future self. But still, it's been a treasure hunt of adequate discovery. And this hunt in particular has also reminded me of the tactile beauty of the VHS cassette. They may be slow, clunky and noisy to use, but that is all part of the charm, as is the multitude of makes, lengths, labels, quality and deterioration of each tape. I think just like old tape games and floppy disks, the volatility of this medium is one of the main things which makes them compelling. It's almost like they continue to live, breathe and erode over time, just like we do. And I guess it's those qualities which make these mechanical wonders feel closer to our hearts than perhaps an SD card would 20 years from now. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe, click on something previous, or even contribute to my Patreon to help me do what I do. In any case, thank you for watching and have a great evening.